All right, guys. So the first tip here, let's say that you want to swap out, one of your squads. You just got a new squad, right? So you just picked up your engineer squad or something. So then you're like, okay, I want to get my engineer squad in. So you put them in over your gunner squad, even though that doesn't make sense because you unlock in the other order. But your engineer squad, they don't have any gear, right? Or maybe you're just swapping them out because you want to play with the new squad, whatever. You don't have any gear. Look, I don't have any med kits. But if I go back to my gunner squad, who I just took out, they've got all my med kits, right? So I'm gonna strip these guys down, take off their med kits, maybe even their guns, their explosive packs, whatever I need, and then I'm gonna put in my engineer squad, and then now I've got med kits for these soldiers. Now they've got their med kits and they're not going to be going out with no gear. So if you put in a new squad, make sure you're stripping down your reserve squads. Make sure all these squads that aren't actually seeing any combat don't have a bunch of gear on them, because otherwise it's just wasting away. It doesn't do anything in reserve. Just make sure that your squads that are in combat have all of your gear. This next tip is all about choosing the right perks for your classes. For example, for the assaulters, I've got this PPD drum mag, and the PPD drum mag really doesn't come with a ton of ammo. It just comes with the magazine loaded and an extra magazine. I really love having double ammo since the PPD can burn through ammo so fast, as well as having extra med packs restoring HP since the assaulters are going to be shot a lot while they're moving in. But something like the sniper, extra ammo can be useful since you're going to run out of ammo oftentimes if you're going on a streak, but also faster movement while you're crawling or crouching can be good too, since snipers tend to be prone or crouching more often to be more accurate. For the gunners, stuff like the gunners, they want, crawling, crouching as well, since they want to be more accurate. And ammo is also really helpful for them. I haven't been able to find an ammo perk for these guys yet, unfortunately. But just keep in mind that when you're choosing your perks, think about what would most benefit the class that the perk is going on. You don't really want to have extra ammo on a rifleman, since riflemen are coming in with a lot of ammo to begin with. Or you don't really need extra movement speed on a sniper, since snipers are going to be in one position for most of the round anyway. So my next tip here, guys, is to make sure that you're upgrading your squads in the upgrades menu to have these workshop upgrades before you go and disassemble, because you'll see throughout this workshop tree, you'll see that there's these weapon disassemble bonuses throughout the tree here, here, and here. So this is a total of 100% bonus, is 20, 30, 50. Altogether, that's going to give you twice as much whenever you disassemble your weapons. And if I go back to my soldier screen, you'll see if I disassemble my Madsons right now, I'm only getting 5 to 13 for a gun that's pretty rare to get, actually. But if I go to my assault squad that is fully upgraded, and I go to my PPD here, you'll see I'm getting 10 to 26, which has a bonus of 100%, as well as a discount on upgrading them. So make sure whenever you guys are going and you're going to disassemble and you want to start upgrading your guns, make sure that you've upgraded the squad through the workshop to have all of these upgrades before you start using it. Otherwise, you're losing out on a lot of spare parts that you could otherwise have that could upgrade. Next tip here is rally points. You don't know, rally points are forward spawns that can be built by the engineer class using their construction hammer. They take quite a while to build, but they are immensely powerful because they allow your entire team to spawn anywhere on the map that they want to, as long as the rally point is built at least 30 meters or whatever away from an objective. And you can imagine why this is so important, because it allows your team to get closer to the objectives. It allows you to flank the enemy, get an extra angle of attack onto the enemy. It's incredibly powerful. Make sure you defend these rally points. Make sure you're building these rally points. And if you need to spawn on a rally point, you can just by looking at the mini map whenever you're spawning and you're choosing your spawn point. It'll have a little, it's like a square with a flag up. You'll see it in the clip here. Now, the other important thing is that rally points are very, very powerful for your team, but they're also incredibly powerful for the enemy team, obviously. And so what you need to do is if you hear beeping, or you hear some sort of like a radio kind of static and beeping, that means there's an enemy rally point near you. And so if you hear that, you need to find out where that rally point is and take it down and break it, because that'll stop the enemy from being able to forward spawn and get closer to the objective. Another super important tip here, guys. If you're running around and your guy goes to the down but not out stage where he's med-kitting himself and bleeding out on the ground, don't sit there holding T or holding the console button while you're bleeding out. Switch to another soldier who's still alive. Protect the guy who just went down. If you don't, the guy who just downed you is just going to continue killing your squad. Good players aren't going to sit there and shoot you while you're down. They know how long it takes. I know how long it takes, so I'm going to gun down the rest of your squad and then kill you before you can get back up. Switch to a different soldier who's still fighting and try to take down the guys who are fighting you, because otherwise your whole squad is just going to get wiped out before you're able to get back up. Another pretty basic tactic here, but make sure you're crouching or going prone when you're firing at enemies at range when you're using your fully automatic weapons. So if you're using an MG13, a Madsen, an MP40, a PPD especially, any of those kind of really fast firing or fully automatic guns, make sure you're crouching or going prone, especially with the LMGs, especially with the Madsen. You need to be prone, you need to be crouched at the least to be able to accurately hit your shots, because those guns are really big. They kick a lot. They have tons and tons and tons of recoil. So you need to be prone to be able to negate that recoil. And if you are prone, stuff like the MG13 and the Madsen, they turn into lasers that are one-shotting troops. They become very powerful. So make sure when you're at range and you're using these fully automatic guns, you're crouching or you're going prone to be more effective and more accurate at range. This is my favorite tip on the entire list. This is an incredibly important tip. This is something I actually just recently learned, and it's that you can actually cook the explosive packs that can blow up tanks. And this is a complete game changer. This changed how I approach tanks when I play Enlisted. Tanks are not scary to me at all anymore, because you can just pull out your explosive pack, hold the button down to cook it, and then throw it, and it'll detonate basically when it hits the tank and instantly blow it up, and the tank will have no way of reacting to it. So make sure you're holding that trigger down and cooking that grenade, but also keep in mind that because you're cooking it, you're going to have a lot less time to get away from the explosive pack, and so the soldier who's throwing it is way more at risk. But even if he dies a hero. Another pretty basic tip here, but again, I see players doing this, or not doing this, I should say, all of the time. And this tip boils down to one thing that my friend always used to say when we would play Red Orchestra 2. And it's don't die with grenades in your pockets. Grenades are so powerful, especially Enlisted with the AI that are so dumb. Just always be throwing your grenade. Throw a grenade into a room right before you go in, right? Throw it down a hallway. Throw it onto the objective as you push in. Throw it anywhere you see some enemies, because more often than not, you're going to get at least one kill. And if you don't, it's fine. There's no friendly fire. You're not going to kill your teammates. So just always be throwing frags. Throw your explosive packs. Throw everything you've got all the time, and don't die with grenades in your pockets. Pretty simple tip here, but basic tactics. When you're running around in the field, make sure you're using the right soldier for the situation at hand. If you're at range and you're shooting at someone, that's 40 meters down the road, don't use your PPD guy. Don't use your submachine gun guy. He's not going to be able to hit those shots, and even if he does, the damage is going to fall off so much because you're using a submachine gun at really long range. Use your riflemen. Use your snipers. If you're running along and an MG42 starts mowing down your squad, or they're pinning down your squad, switch to your sniper, shoot that guy in the head, blow up the machine gun, and then move forward. And at the same time, don't be clearing buildings. Don't be rushing onto an objective with a rifleman with the Kar 98. Use your MP40s. Use your PPDs. Use your PPKs. Use your submachine guns that are really powerful in these close quarter situations. Use the right soldier for the right situation. That's what they're there for. And to round it all off, guys, this last tip is something that's pretty basic, and I'm going to assume that a lot of you guys do it, but just in case you don't, remember to always pick up guns off dead bodies that you're running past. Because if you don't have a secondary, there's no reason not to, and it could really help you in your next engagement. Because if you have a Kar 98 and you're running into a building, you're at a disadvantage against anyone in that building with like a submachine gun or something. But if you pick up a submachine gun, then now you've evened the odds, or maybe even put yourself in a better situation depending on the SMG. So make sure that whenever you're running around and you run over a dead body, whether it's Russian or German, just check out what gun it is. Pick it up real quick. Give yourself that advantage in any situation that comes up. twitch.tv/HeyQuadro. You can see the live gameplay there as well.